Hey, welcome to Art and Subtlety, and welcome to specifically the Humble Bundle Tryouts. For those of you who missed the earlier episodes, this is basically I always had the problem. What do you do with your Humble Bundle choice? How do you know which games to choose? You can watch the little video demos, but it'd be great to kind of try out a few and see how they are to see if it's something that engages with you. Now, obviously, I'm not going to have the same opinion, the same likes and dislikes as everybody else. So I'm going to try ones that appeal to me. And if you have some similar tastes, maybe you'll find them appealing as well. But maybe I'll find a game that I'll try out and I won't like, but that you'll actually think is pretty awesome. So hopefully this will be useful to everyone. There's some really neat games in the December uh, bundle that just got released on time release. And there are a few that really, I know Expedition Rome is amazing. I haven't played it yet. I would really like to play it. I'm not going to play it right now because I'm not going to. Yeah, I know that one's an amazing one. I would get that one for myself. So a few of these others did look interesting to me, and I really like the idea. Yeah. Oh, sorry, my headset quit there for a second. I really like the idea of the Pale Beyond. It seems like it's based on um, the various Arctic and Antarctic expeditions, specifically one where a ship gets kind of stuck in the ice and is unable to leave. So I'm downloading it right now. Let's watch the video and then let's try it out. Ah, yes. So I'm guessing this is one of these survival resource management games with a narrative focus. Those junks. So that UI looks like it's more complicated than say something like Dead in Vinland, but similar. Loyalty, interesting. Oh man, it's gonna be so hard to dig graves in ice. The Pale Beyond. Okay, it looks really interesting. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's fire this up. See um, what it's like. All right. Expanded epilogue screens. Okay, so there's multiple endings. I would assume. Uh, take a look as is traditional. Take a look at the settings. Whoa, 165 FPS. Does this game have that to level? Disable decorum game overs? Oh, interesting. All right. Stained with awareness. Start a new expedition. Branches 1 out of 40. No, for some reason I was assuming this was going to be controller. I'll have to go get my keyboard. Let's see. Original launch balancing, normal game balancing, hard, lower temperatures across the whole game. I wonder what this means. Classic. Well, this one just looks best, so let's do normal. Oh, the air cold. A flake and white, as a sailor begs their pledge. To the ice they'll pray that leads reveal. Out in the ice they'll stake a claim. They'll pray that leads reveal. Begs their pledge to the ice they'll pray that leads reveal. Some charted course ahead. To the souls around, them shielding fear, dividing up their dread, a hunger draws the desperate here. Such lonely souls need led. What will ye do when steel hearts break and courage does abscond? I'll lead these souls. I'll learn to live a life out here, out in the pale beyond. Oh, this is really cool. I like it. Begin your journey. The Temperance. Able-bodied crew for dangerous expedition. Months of darkness, low wages, slim chance of safe return. Glory to be had in the event of success. Very cool. So we start off. Tea in your hand has long since gone cold. Perfectly accurate. I like cold tea. Looking around the room, you can make out a collection of military books. On the desk is a ship in a bottle. Metronome ticks steadily away. Honestly, I kind of hate metronomes. Simple reminder of the time you spent waiting. It stops. Footsteps climbing the stairs that brought me here. Let me take a seat. The chair is uncomfortably large. The seat feels worn. The door behind you swings open. The captain bounds past you to the other side of the desk. Bounds. Do you have all your teeth? Sorry? Oh, my name is Shaw. Answer the question, please. Well, I've not had scurvy before, if that's what you're asking. Me neither. How many people have died under your supervision? So if I say none, does that mean I'm a braggart? Or does it mean I'm amazing at whatever I do? I'm assuming I'm a doctor or something? Or an officer of some sort? We'll go with this. Can you remember their faces? Every single one. See, you've already made yourself comfortable. I'm Captain Hunt. Pleasure is mine, Robin Shaw. This detailed, isn't she? Incredibly. An old sailor superstition. Hope you weren't waiting too long. I'm told it's worth the wait. Good. There's been a lot of candidates. Some good, some bad. Interesting mix. I'm sure you understand the need for discretion. Months of darkness. Low wages. Slim chance of safe return. That didn't deter you, did it? It does seem like it's expected to deter, but I did come in. I'm wondering, yeah, this is if I want to imply that times are tough. I'm going to say it's to be expected. I thought it blunt, but it's proven remarkable at weeding out the weak and the pretend. That makes sense. That would do it. I have a few questions first. Were you born a landlubber or a sea dog? Okay, all right. So here we get some options. Um, do we want to be more? This is great. I'm gonna say I've been all over. I'm a muttwash. I think I gained a trait. Muttwash. Plenty of those joining, myself included. Military experience? Only evading them? Oh man, I'm gonna go with the military though. 2 tours. A muttwash from the Navy? I guess I'm not that special these days. I picked the same as him. He's gonna like me. I think he's gonna disappear early on in the game. In one piece. Hey, we'll go honorably. Well, we've no stewards to wipe your ass out here. You best get used to doing that yourself. Have you ever fired a weapon? Do I want that kind of military experience? I can't imagine being in the Navy and not firing your weapons. I mean, obviously you fired them in practice, but I think he means let's say that I've not seen actual combat. Have you ever killed a man, directly or otherwise? Whoa! Yes. You're not married, are you? That's irrelevant. Keep a mysterious past. Exploration is a dangerous profession. You must understand the risk you're putting yourself in. Oops. I won't be missed. Let's keep a mysterious past open for us. Let's leave it at that. You better not have a death wish. One must believe they'll return to justify leaving any family in the first place. Yours is counting on that, whatever the circumstances. We're here to find the ship in that bottle. The Viscount. Heard of it? No, enlighten me. 5 years ago, she set sail on a research expedition toward the Dead Peninsula. They were trying to find and study the absolute magnetic south. Strange name for a ship. They can't all be named for dukes and princes. Viscount wasn't always hereditary. It was an earned title once. Admirals certainly love their metaphors, almost as much as their medals. Hunt, no offense. Anyway, the point is that she never came back. Or was that me that said that? Her last known location was 200 miles south of land, presumed lost to the ice. 5 years is a bit late for a rescue operation. They're probably dead. Alive or not, their research is supposedly of extreme importance. We're supposed to be chasing that research? Exactly! You need more than rumors about lost ships. Here's what we do know. Not one person or thing has been heard from the Viscount since it first left port. Until now? Until now. Someone was found who claims to have been on that ship. Can I speak to them? No, they're dead. But their testimony seems to have outlived them. Those with more money than sense want that old ship. That's the job. You know, it occurs to me that he's overdressed for, presumably this is Europe. I guess it could be, I don't know, it's got to be England. If I don't pick the first mate, somebody else will, and, well, my judge of character has gotten me this far. And who's financing all this? The usual. Film and lecture rights have been sold, of course. We're in the process of signing off on a final benefactor for the expedition. Film? What era is this? Okay. Oh, yeah. So this is 20th century, I'm guessing. I did not pick up on the fact that this would have been the This is the 20th century. They've even donated a ship. We'll be traveling on board the Temperance. She's a beauty. Greenwood. Generational. Not many like it left these days. The Viscount and the Temperance. They're sister ships. Built together. Sent out into this world to die alone. You seem to love metaphor yourself. Indeed. Perhaps that makes me a hypocrite. But I like to think one calls out for the other. So what do you think? Sounds like you'll need all the help you can get. Isn't that the truth? We will. Anyway, I think I've heard enough. We leave in a month. Welcome aboard, Shaw. Proverbially speaking. Don't you need more information? Not if I'm a captain worth his salt. I work with people, not professions. Sooner trust a good carpenter than a cruel sailor to save me from drowning. But alas, I'll see you on the Temperance. All right, interesting. A month to the day. Before you lies a ship, the letters on its side read Temperance. Okay, there's not much I can interact with. You walk the cobble to the boarding ramp. Beside is a sharply dressed man overseeing the loading of cargo. He turns to you with a stern expression. A military gait. You must be Hunt's pick for first mate. I figured he'd keep it in the ranks. Good man. Richard Templeton, pleasure. It's a considered shake. I shall be operating as the chief science officer on this expedition. I'm also the incumbent representative of our benefactor. Do, however, consider myself and my team at you and the captain's disposal. What did you specialize in? Applied botany. Not much use for a botanist on the ice, is there? Oh, shoot. I assure you I am well equipped in all manners scientific. No doubt I needn't inform you of your duties. You're second only to Captain Hunt himself. Though I must warn you that you have quite the task ahead. The rabble I've spent the afternoon sorting are the same that you'll have to whip into shape. Punctuality, schedule, a strict adherence is what we need if this expedition is to succeed. I expect you to be the organized sort. You would not have been assigned the role otherwise. I have more than enough experience with a crew of this nature. That is comforting to hear. It would seem from most of the crew the captain favored personal history over expertise. It is good to know he found the capable sort for such a vital role. Let me know when you're ready to depart. The less valuable time we waste here, the better. Okay, so now we are... It's minus 10? Where are we? Is this like Argentina or something? Not a lot I can click on over here. It's week 0 in the morning. Let's look at the Temperance. Near identical to the Viscount, barring some modern additions. Okay, so this is interesting. It's got a steam stack. Set sail. You'll be gone for quite a while. It will be some time before you see the city again. A young man stands at the ramp, steeling himself for the journey ahead. Hesitantly, he begins to drag his feet up the ramp and onto the ship. That's all. It doesn't look like there's anything I can do. I can't believe it's minus 10. That's awful. I haven't even gone yet. Like, this is not... Okay, so I feel like I remember there being some like... Because in the winter, you've got ice. It's solid, right? Whereas in the summer, you might have breaking ice, floating around and stuff. It might be more dangerous. Wouldn't surprise me. There are definitely places you can drive that you can't, like, that you can drive in the winter that you can't drive in the summer, because in the summer it's swamp, right? And in the winter it's frozen over. Okay, this whole thing. First Mate Shaw, personal log. It's been 1 month since I signed on and 1 week since we set sail aboard the Temperance. I'm told the waters will get warmer as we pass the hemisphere before they turn colder. Okay, so we are in England. We're in the northern hemisphere. We're sailing down. Ah, okay, that makes perfect sense. It's winter time in England, which means it's going to be summertime in the. Okay, yeah. Don't know why I didn't pick up for that. Um, I really am curious as who's paying for this. I can't help but wonder who's footing the bill for all this. Certainly not the captain. I should investigate further. Um, the Temperance, the Admiralty had nothing like this. Yeah, I'm gonna say, let's say it's good. I don't want it to be a lousy ship. A technical marvel, elegant machinery expertly weaved through one of the fastest hardwood ships of its day. Reborn for this mission, breathing again with life, she's simply magnificent. I wonder why they sent us in a wooden ship. As for its master, he's mostly kept to his quarters so far. I trust the captain. Experience alone justifies his position. There aren't many who make out the other end of naval military service with all their limbs, let alone his vigor. Impulsive. He is impulsive. Is he not telling the whole truth? Let's see what the rumors are. Drinking, desertion. There's probably good reason he's dressed in antiques. Perhaps I'm too quick to judge. As for the rest of the crew, there are now 22 of us, including the captain. Our next port will be our last before we enter the ice, to pick up the remaining 4 members of the crew, the scouting team. Hunt is also keen to work out a deal on a pack of sledding dogs. The crew are a strange lot, eclectic as the ship itself. Okay, that's all. One of Hunt's sailors approaches. Captain wants you at the helm. Um, Good, I went to see him. Alright, so let's see. Forecastle, Crow's Nest, Captain's Cabin, join Hunt at the helm. Let's look at the Crow's Nest. Currently stands unoccupied. Scouting team are expected to join at next port. Do I go to the forecastle? Let's go to the... Send the stairs to the stern, find the old captain manning the helm of the ship. Ah, Robin, lovely day for it, isn't it? It is indeed, Captain. Indeed. It's days like these I make sure to do my share of the sailing. He winks. Thinks for a moment before stepping aside and stretching out a wrinkled hand. Did you ever take the helm in the Admiralty? Never felt right, not for me. Not to for me. Here, why don't you give it a try? Alright, let's hopefully this is a tutorial. The memory in your muscles rears themselves as you begin to move in time with the ship and the wind. Easy. There, you have it. Okay, so I'm not really doing anything. Fantastic. Now try to get a sense of where we are. Get some perspective. Peaceful, isn't it? Okay, so I can change the... That's really slow. That's really slow. I think I'll drink the morning in a little longer. Wouldn't you mind preparing my quarters for the day's work? There's much to do. Those are really interesting boats on the side. They're like quite large with holds. And here they've got a bunch of them. Oh, interesting. No cannons. Well, I guess we wouldn't. I'm having a hard time kind of picking up on the level of technology. Let's go look at the forecastle. Oh, forecastle's locked. All right. There's a tub. A luxury to be out on the ice, yeah. Painting, classical painting depicting sailors doing battle with a kraken. Is that a kraken? An ode to an old folk story known to all, Captain Seamus, or was it Pamus? The desk. Make out a variety of papers, notes, and maps, as well as a sealed letter with a stamp you don't recognize. The desk itself is suspended with ropes to keep it safely in place. Well, that's just to keep it levelish. Not, I mean, okay, it's both. It's got ropes and legs. So it won't let me investigate that seal more? Take a seat at the end of the room. The captain joins you. Now, let's run through our provisions before taking requests. To start, there's 23 souls signed onto this expedition, ourselves included. That's 16 free to be assigned to tasks if they aren't already busy. The rest are deployed to their permanent stations. 16, so there's 7 permanent stations? You're only able to deploy crew who you have discovered. They must be in good health and not otherwise deployed to another post. So I have to actually meet people. There's 23 characters in this story, and that's assuming... Oh, no, there's 4 more coming. And that's assuming we don't meet any random strangers. Okay, I'm not going to be able to do all the voices, but this is fun. We'll be picking up the scouting crew at next port. A lot of us also seem to be in good spirits. 100 morale. The expedition will end tearing itself apart if you end the week with no decorum left. Decorum instead of morale. Interesting. We've enough provisions for at least 6 months in case of emergency. Okay, provisions. So 6 months, 100 days. So that's half a provision, per day, roughly. I mean, 6 months is like 180 days, more than 180 days, right? Like, about that. So that's less, like 100 out of 100 for 20 people. You cannot afford the minimum food rations at the end of a week. Crew will become malnourished. Okay, so that's in weeks. So like 25. So it's four provisions a week for the crew, at least at our current state. Unless cured, the malnourished status will develop into scurvy, a severe status effect that prevents crew from working, eventually killing them at the end of a week. Wonder if that means we have 2 weeks to feed them. Interesting. Scurvy is not just caused by malnutrition; it's caused by specific malnutrition. I'm assuming they're using scurvy as a proxy for hunger, starving to death or whatever. At least, yeah, it's interesting. And more than enough fuel to see us there and back again. Interesting. Colder temperatures will increase the minimum fuel required at the end of the week. If you cannot afford that minimum, crew will become freezing. Unless cured, freezing status will develop into frostbite, a severe status effect that prevents crew from working, eventually killing them at the end of the week. Okay, again, so scurvy is actually like a vitamin C deficiency. It affects your gums and things like this. So it's a deficiency of a specific thing. Same thing, frostbite is not just really bad freezing, right? Hypothermia is mild freezing. And hypothermia and freezing can kill you slowly as your body doesn't have the energy to maintain its internal temperatures. So organs start shutting down or whatever. But frostbite is different. Frostbite is where a patch of your body is actually freezing, not just too cold for your body to work. So you can lose limbs to frostbite, fingers, patches of skin die and leave horrible scarring. So frostbite is not just extreme freezing, just like scurvy is not extreme malnourishment. I'm a little surprised. I would have expected a tiny bit more, kind of token nods towards scientific accuracy in terminology here, since this is an expedition about scientists. We'll see though. The sledding dogs, well, they're still a matter of negotiation. So dogs will be needed to send sledding teams out to gather resources on the ice. Sending hunts out further requires a greater number of dogs. They will rest and become available between weeks. Now, on to work. Corvid or Cordell? His name is Corvid? Like the crow and blue jay family? A sailor enters. We found a stowaway in the lower hold. Bring them in. Another sailor enters, leading a young man by their side. What do you want to bet? It's actually a young woman. We'll see. You know, you're not the first stowaway I've had. You know where we're heading, don't you? I do, sir. The ice. Did you know that before you climbed inside that crate? I did, sir. Har! How old are you? You're hardly a useful pair of hands. Not true. I can pull my weight, sir. Do you know your jaboom from your bowsprit? Bowsprit. I do. I learned it all from my da. Your da? He's Ward's son. Followed him on board back in the city. Ward's son? Oh, now his name is Smurf? Okay, maybe he is a boy. Smurf. What should we... Oh, no, this is Smurf. What shall we do with him, Captain? Well, Shaw? You're first mate. What should we do with him? I'd keep him aboard. Them. I mean, I want an extra person, even though that means extra rations being used. I'm also interested in this story. And, I mean, we are making one more port, so we could kick him off. But, like, presumably that's, like, I don't know if they're going to specify, but that's, like, going to be either Argentina, Chile, South Africa. I don't want, I wouldn't want... And Ward will probably be pissed if I put his kid off at the south end of the world. Why? You need all the help you can get. He's clearly here because his father is. It would be wrong to separate them again. We don't have the time to accommodate this. It's wrong to separate them again. It's not so much separating them that's the problem as abandoning the kid in some random city somewhere. He's not that young. All we can get. I mean, this is closer to what I want, but it's not wrong to separate. This is fine. All right, boy. Consider yourself part of the crew. Be sure to keep your nose clean and follow orders. I will. Thank you, sir. Captain, not sir. Aye, Captain. Now a member of the crew. So now do we have 24? Hope the rest won't mind sharing their rations. What of the father? Split their pay and their rations. Ha 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 ha! We'll keep an eye on them both. What of the father? I don't, like... We'll keep an eye on them both. I suppose you're right. Well, that matter's sorted. Right, Cordell. Have you agreed upon my conditions? To the point, eh? Shaw, this is Lady Cordell. Cordell is here to provide us with the kennel of hounds for the sleds. And our agreement was that she would train them up until we part ways at the nearest island, but... You neglected to inform me that you were bringing my dogs through the Pale Passage. I had no intention of sending the pack to its death. You seem to have good faith in this expedition. It's one thing to ask for my whole kennel. It's another to drag them into the ice to chase a myth. Never before has a buyer been so dishonest. And never before has a seller made such strong demands. Lady Cordell? A moniker given to me by the locals of the city. On account of her vernacular. I find it odd that you seem to have researched me as much as you have my kennel. I like to know who I'm negotiating with. He is a people person, clearly. He judges things on the person, like the character of the person, as a member of the crew. Like, none on this ship have the experience and familiarity with these dogs that I possess. If you're taking them to such a brutal location, they will need me to guide them if they have any chance of survival. The humans on board, too, of course. Of course. You can see my dilemma, Shaw. We just accepted a stowaway. Bringing on another member of the crew is a risk, but our hands may be tied. Oh. I don't see the harm in having an expert on the sled dogs. Like, yeah, more people means we need more food, but I mean, the difference between 22, like, we already knew there were 4 more people coming on board, right? So the difference between 27 and 29 is not, like, that big of a difference. Good point, Shaw. The deal is already to your benefit. Do you have anyone on board with extensive training in the management and ruling of dogs? Your sleds are useless if you can't control the dogs efficiently enough to haul them, and I would like to ensure my dogs are treated properly. Then, I hope your experience as you claim. Also, if I'm going to play through the game, I'd like to have as many characters. Um, for one, I feel like people are usually your best resource, and also, I want to interact with them. More stories, you know. Trust me, I am. I'll have a room prepared for you below deck. No need. You'll find me in the forecastle with the dogs. Thanks. I hope I'm not making a mistake, Shaw. Okay, that's kind of fun. Now that that's all settled, I have one more errand for you to run. Could you grab the Stoke brothers and order them to meet me up deck after dinner? Hefty lads, red hair, you couldn't mistake them for another. Who are they? You haven't met all the crew yet? The Stokes have been serving me for years. They'll be down on the middle deck. In the meantime, you should grab a copy of the crew manifest and get acquainted with more of the crew. Alright, captain's cabin, forecastle, join the figure balancing on the mast. Oh my goodness. Oh, locked. Can hear the kennel master preparing the room inside. Upon closer inspection, you make out the ship's photographer, Kasha Belford, balanced on the ship's mast with her camera, lining up a photo. I'll wait for her to finish. Don't want to cause her to fall. Oh, Officer Shaw. It's about time I met the first officer of this ship. Kasha Belford. Um, Nice to meet. You seem to already know my name. I'm the first mate. Everyone knows who I am. Nice to meet you, Kasha. Wait, have I heard of her already? No, I haven't. I suppose there was some sort of rule against what I was doing up there. Deepest apologies, but sometimes there's a shot you just cannot pass up. Accomplished photographer Kasha Belford won the Fentler Prize, the highest honor in journalism, for her work over covering plague outbreaks and riots in the capital. Again, I feel like this is left open. Like, oh, is this the U.S.? Um, is this Britain? Is it France? Whatever. It came as a surprise to many that such a reputable journalist would take such an interest in this expedition. There was scarcely any chance of Hunt or the benefactor turning her away. You expected someone of her accolades to be older, more experienced. This is likely her first time on the sea like this. Her proof is all we have, but her accomplishments surely outweigh her youth. Inexperience is a matter of interest, but her accolades speak for themselves. Yeah, like these are different levels of experience, though. But if she's a journalist, not just a photographer, it'll be interesting. The cold game. Picture that as a header. For the piece on this voyage, I'm trying to come up with a snappy name. Nobody will read it if the title sounds like the work of an amateur. How about The Pale Beyond? Sorry. This isn't a game, Kasha. It's not light business. She nods eagerly, but she's not really listening. Oh, right. Of course. It's thrilling, though, isn't it? I suppose someone of your experience finds it all boring at this point. A trip to the ice may seem dull compared to the Royal Admiralty. Oh, no, yeah, Admiralty. So we are British. You know who I am? Or do I like thrills? Of course, I thoroughly researched the crew of the Temperance. May seem somewhat excessive, but I feel it's necessary for a proper chronicling. That and plenty of pictures. Don't worry, Shaw, you don't have a reputation that sets you apart from the rest. A celebrity like Kurt Darling's presence will dwarf any rumors that could form around you. That reminds me, he'll be joining us at next port. I should get his picture at some point. Stand still, Shaw! Yeah, okay, what kind of... How long do they take to develop? Only a day or two. I've made a makeshift darkroom in the hold. Speaking of photographs, here it is, the crew manifest. So she's been researching it. Okay, so sailors. Oh, I can't read about people that I haven't met. Oh, not only do these people have... They have a place in the line. That's crazy. So I've met Joe Gren. He's a sailor and ice savvy. I've met Smurf, Corvid. Oh, his name is or Emilia Sparrow. He goes by Corvid. That's awesome. If your name is Sparrow and your nickname is Crow, basically, that's awesome. Runt is Saltborn and okay, yeah. All right, so we've got sailors, scouts, engineers, scientists, specialists. Okay, so in the demo, I just saw sailors and specialists. I kind of figured that was it, but it's actually there's a bunch of different categories. Grimley's accordion, interesting. So the captain, he's locked. I can't deploy him. He's got a general task. He's a muttwash. She's the landboard photographer. Robin Shaw. Oh, my picture didn't turn out very well. Richard Templeton is a science officer, but he's landborn. So these two should say also colonial on them, but I guess not. Okay, very cool. Very cool. It's a work in progress. The scout team are to join us at the next port, and the captain's forbidden me from the boiler room. If you could ask the others to get their portraits taken, I'd be very grateful. Don't want to leave anyone out. I'll see what I can do. So, okay, should I warn her not to do dangerous things? I feel like there's such a good chance of her dying, and I don't want her to die. If I encourage her, is she going to run off and do something? You really don't know, like how intricate is this story, right? Like, is there a risk of her actually, yeah, like doing something stupid and dying? Removed of your camera. I really do want to warn her. I don't want her to make her mad at me, but I want her to be safe. Yes, officer. You don't want to lose that picture, though. It's very striking. Safety is our priority. There will be many more chances, but you'll need to be more careful. So this is a little bit more calming. Understood, Officer Shaw. I won't get carried away again. I don't want to make her upset, but this is... yeah, no, she's not going to be heeding my warnings, I think. What can I do? All right, very cool. Yeah, this is interesting. These are the original sails. Everything's already covered in snow. Not a good sign. 2 Johns, or descend below deck. You spot a large man with a youthful gait, carrying a heavy crate over his shoulders with relative ease. Oh, you're Officer Shaw! He gives a bright, warming smile. 2 Johns! That's what they call me. I'm sure you'll get your nickname later. 2 Johns attempts to offer a handshake, but loses control of the crate. Struggles before firmly holding it in place with both hands. Ah, maybe later. Work awaits. 2 John. Or John. Not a sailor. Oh no, he is a sailor. He's a saltborn, but not ice savvy. All right, let's go downstairs. These must be really small rooms. Okay, so this is below deck, mid deck. It won't let me go. Oh, so this is the boiler room. It won't let me go lower than this yet. Okay, so everyone's here. Oh, it's the boiler room and the mess. Oh no, this is the mess. Just the mess. This must be Mulvaney or whatever. A red-haired man with thick beard sits proud, playing on an ivory accordion. Need something? They did say redhead, right? Mind if I see your accordion? You can see it from there, no touching. Just looking for the Stoke brothers. Emergency? That's the meeting with Hunt. Yeah, it's not an emergency because it's after dinner, right? You're speaking to one of them, Grimley Stoke. We'll head up after dinner. You can go now. Okay, so I didn't get to talk to both of them. They seem to all be here, but let's have some dinner. Ooh, so now am I going to get to decide how much they eat or something? No, so he didn't lose a provision. Hammocks are unfurled in preparation for the evening. Twilight falls. Oh, this must be the kid's dad. Over dinner, you overhear the newly picked up stowaway speaking with a one-armed man. But Da, your lucky hunt didn't throw you overboard. Half a mind to do that myself. Come on, Da. I'm here to help. Better know that involves work. Don't expect special treatment. I won't. You're an impossible child, Timmy. Okay, so the runt's name is Timmy. I was still going with I'm my suspicion that it's a she has not gone completely away yet. But Timmy is not not another hint. Doug Ward added to the manifest. So Timmy is Doug is a Saltborn as well. All right. Ah, there's a person. Oh, I can go to my cabin. Mr. Gloss. One of Templeton's science team pacing around the middeck, searching through some luggage. Let me look in the light. Where is it now? Ah, Officer Shaw, correct? Dwight Glossley. Apologies, I seem to have misplaced something while settling in the cabin. A bottle of wine, actually. It'll turn up eventually. I would hope so. My wife and I brought a bottle to celebrate with. His wife is here? To be saved for the journey back, of course. Well, if you find it, please let me know. So he would be a scientist? Okay, so he doesn't have, he's just a general scientist. He's not, he doesn't have a specialization in, oh yeah, because Templeton, he's a science officer, but he didn't get, specifically botanist. Let's go to my cabin. We'll see what's going on. So I can write in my journal. Okay. This is an impressive cabin, honestly. I've got a desk, a coffin, lidless coffin. The end table and stuff stuck in the corner there. That's actually hilarious. Not going to be too much useful. Do I have a bird cage? Why do I have a bird cage? Now, don't get me wrong. That's really cool. I also like the racks on the bookshelves. This is an amazing office. I love it. An overhead lamp. It won't let me zoom in any further than that, but that's really, really cool. They've got a world map. I love it. Let's talk to Templeton. Okay, let's see. Look at the ocean. A wisp of smoke flies past your face. You turn to examine and spot a sailor with a pipe in his mouth, a sheet of paper in his hand. Well, let's ask him for some spare tobacco. I don't share, he says. Tashi. Tashi falls silent and begins to read the letter. Trying to draw a conversation from him may be similar to extracting teeth. Verney Grimley Stoke is the carpenter. Tashi is one of the sailors. Let's talk to Templeton. Officer Shaw. It will be some time before we see a sunset such as this again. The light distribution toward the South Pole is quite the change. I noticed you weren't at dinner. I prefer to eat in solitude. I have my own cabin and I make use of it. The reflection of the setting sun. There is great expectation upon us, officer. Who is this benefactor of ours? That is not for you to know, not yet. He looks at his reflection and then the sunset. Quite the sight, but I wouldn't linger upon it too long. We should retire for the evening. It's important the first officer be well rested. Okay, so now hold E to advance to the next. I can't just click. Yeah, I can click it. Great. Next week. All right. So 2 minus 50. That's insane. Okay, that's ridiculous. How are we going to... He said we had enough food for 6 months. This is going to use up all our food in like 2 weeks. Two food per person. Half. High. So half only just does minus 10. Fuel rations just does a little bit lower. All it does is reduce discord, or whatever it's called. All right, well, it's just got to be tutorial area. They're going to surely show us how to refill our fuel and rations, because this is just insane. Aurea Island. Cordell's sledding dogs are picked up. The scouting crew and Kurt Darling are picked up. Days are getting brighter as you move further south. Oh, nice sunset on the water. 2 weeks on the Temperance. Saved game to tree. Come in. Kurt Darling, all but filling its frame, grinning ear to ear. There you are, Officer Shaw. The ship's navigator is a difficult man to miss. Stature and reputation precede him. Adorned with a slew of apparatus, this seemingly one-man expedition would be known to anyone following the heyday of exploration and the merchandising that followed. I have no time for celebrities. I know little of the man. I mean, I don't think this will make him... I'll just say I don't know the man. His reputation is indeed great, but the man behind the legend is but a stranger. Hiding away from the rest of us, are you? Are you always this early to rise? These days I tend to enjoy a good lie-in, but not during an expedition. You know what they say of early birds and worms. Apologies for not stopping by sooner, Shaw. It took a while to set up my team, and a great deal of the crew are quite eager to meet me. Work with a film star. Interesting. You are something of a celebrity, aren't you? I take that to mean you haven't heard of me before? Well, that is a pleasant surprise. Okay, so he's excited to meet someone who hasn't already, like, joined the fan club. There aren't many who haven't seen my films, particularly in this line of work. More than one fellow on this crew said my work inspired them to explore the world. Quite the honor, is it not? They don't seem the film-going type. Well, yes, most were born on the sea to begin with, but it is good to know even those old films can inspire. Ahem. I suppose I did get distracted, didn't I? Anyway, I was hoping you'd join me up deck. Yeah, sure. We've finally entered the pack. I thought you'd want to see it for yourself. I'll be right behind you. The pack ice, I assume he means. Oh, and enjoy your morning. It's a good day, Shaw. Arr. Okay, now we've got Kurt Darling. Wait, what? Oh, he must be a specialist because he's like the lead. He's the navigator. He's hobbled. What does that mean? Interesting. Mrs. Gloss. Ah, Mrs. Gloss. Did you have a good rest? She nods. Hello. I did not expect Minnie to be up this early. Harriet Glossley. What has you up so early? I find it difficult to adjust to sleep on a moving vessel. I believe a walk around the ship would help acclimate myself to the waves. Perhaps it will take some more time. It's been 2 weeks. The science team aren't used to the sea, or the sailor folk. Quite the culture clash, isn't it? Well, I'm sure they'll grow used to them over time. Doctor's office. Let's go downstairs. Hammocks. Best not to disturb them, Shaw. You don't want to find yourself dealing with an abruptly woken sailor. That's fair. Let's go to the doctor's office. Locked. Or perhaps enjoying his sleep. You're yet to come across the ship's doctor even after all this time. Wonder if he's a bit of a recluse. At the stern, you notice an older sailor at the helm. The old man takes in a deep breath in the cold air before letting out a satisfied exhale. Morning! And a good morning to you. He eyes you up. Officer Shaw, right? Lefty. Call me that on account of, well, should be obvious. Don't worry about the bad sight. This is all feel. Just keeping her steady. Surprised Hunt picked from outside for his first mate. Would you prefer the role? Definitely not. I can't come up with his name. His voice. This old body can't take the pressures anymore. Besides, I've worked on other ships. Others have worked with Hunt much longer. You must be something special for Hunt to look outside the ranks. Hunt doesn't have much fondness for the military, but at least means you've got the work ethic. Interesting, so I wonder if he left poorly. Mornings like these are about the only peace I get from the younger lot. You should take these moments when you can. As you get older, I suppose you learn to value the quiet moments, eh? Let us hope we're just as diligent when we're old and gray. Myself before you, of course. Lefty. Break the floes below you. The footing beneath rises as the ship mounts an impeding ice floe. There is a moment's hesitation before a profound crack relieves the ship. See, nothing else like it. You weren't wrong. It's something, all right. Look at the ice. No two cracks are the same. All caused by us. By the laws of nature, this place wants us dead. And yet, here we are, traversing in harmony. How fantastic is that? How far are we from land? We're about a week's sail from the last known location of the old Viscount. Assuming she isn't exactly where they left her, we can't take smooth sailing for granted. Same goes for this daylight. It won't remain this bright for so long once winter encroaches. Beautiful as the ice is, on this course it's going to get thicker. We won't be so confident when the leads dry up and we're stuck here till the next cycle. We need to change course. Avoid the pack. Have you informed the captain? He won't listen to me. Thinks I've been dulled by retirement. I've probably seen more ice than he has whiskey. We have enough supplies, hopefully. I mean, I don't see how we possibly can. It's not the supplies I'd be worried about in that situation. People will turn on each other before they let themselves starve. Have you ever experienced a long night winter? It's not pleasant, to say the least. If it comes to that, we'll adapt. Huh! I can see why he hired you. You should understand, Robin. We're only as good as the unhappiest man. I'll do what I can. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. Okay, here we are in the ice pack. So, Kurt Wagner wants us to not go. Like, I don't know wow, that is really, really slow. That's still pretty slow. Yeah, that's much better. Captain's cabin. I assume we're doing requests, yeah. We need to, man, if we can't refill our supplies, this is gonna be bad. Ah, Shaw! Ready for another day of work? Did you hear Kurt's advice? Ah, he had a few words to share. He may have been an expert in his time, but these days Kurt is one with more money than sense. Anyway, back to work. I was hoping you'd help me work through a few more requests from the crew. You may have noticed a line pooling up outside. All right, Hammond, Kasha, Corbin. Hunt, you asked for a report on how the stowaway was doing. I wanted to see if the young boy has been settling in well. He has indeed. If it means another mouth to feed, but the boy works hard and doesn't ask much. He has his da to guide him as well. I'm sure the boy's father is ecstatic. Worried sick, but happy I. Well, what do you know, Shaw? Perhaps we are right to keep the boy aboard.
Captain Shaw, a thought occurred to me the other day while looking through the crew manifest, and, well, it might be too late for this now that we've already entered the ice.
Out with it.
I thought it would be good to have individual photos of the full crew.
For your report?
Not only for my report, it would be a good reference for the manifest. Put faces to names.
Much of this crew have served me for years, some decades. I have little problem putting faces to names. Your thoughts, Shaw?
Bit late, but it's now or never.
Aye, good point. But then maybe you could sound a little more enthused. Well, Belford, I see no problem there. I'll arrange for the pictures to be taken before the crew have their dinner.
Thank you, Captain Shaw. In the meantime, I'll attempt to get as many individual crew photos as I can. You're still welcome to help on that matter, Officer Shaw. A short, sour-faced man in engineering clothing approaches.
Are you acting daft, Hunt? Not with intention. Not bloody surprised you didn't notice. Shaw, this is our chief engineer, Clive Hammond. An opinionated one. What is it, Hammond?
We've hit the ice, and you haven't assigned any extra men down on the boiler.
You have your engineering team.
And we've only got 6 arms between us. I need more manpower in maintaining this. Sailors!
Many of the crew have their own tasks they're busy with. I know I've already assigned Smurf on a matter.
The captain turns to you. Wait, Smurf left?
How many do you think is fair? 1, 3?
More!
Choose how many sailors you wish to assign.
Okay, specifically it has to be sailors. Okay, let's say they do have to be sailors. So Smurf is deployed. Okay, so 1 to 4 is how many we need. I don't think there's any real reason not to assign more. Let's assign the runt. We'll do all 4.
You can take Tashi, Runt.
Or you can take Tashi, Runt, Da, and Joe.
You're giving me Ward? Ward with 1 bloody arm? Young Runt could use someone to teach him on the job. Who better than his father? Don't get me started on handing over the bloody stowaway. Would you rather none? Fine. But you can tell me how right I was when we were buried under the ice.
But I didn't mean to give him people he didn't like. Okay, it's true that Ward has 1 arm, but Ward, he doesn't have that as like a trait that he's 1-armed. Like, it doesn't affect his abilities, I think.
A good spirit, that one, beneath the oil and the temper. You won't be seeing much of him, though. Prefers to burrow himself into the boiler room.
Man, I don't know what we're going to do. We need more supplies. Perhaps we shouldn't rule out old Kurt so easily.
If the man thinks there could be an alternate path through the ice, he's free to search for it. Shaw, meet with him when you have time. Changing course or not, we'll want one of his scouts set up in the crow's nest. Take care of that, then you'll be done for the day.
The day or the week? It's weird. Oh, there's a sick young man. That's awful. You spot a youthful-looking man leaning over the side of the ship. Pat him on the back. He jolts upright in shock. The spectacled young man shaking with unease. Look of shame Sorry. Um, uh, haven't seen you around. I'm very sorry. Turns around and hurriedly runs in the opposite direction, avoiding your gaze. Arthur Nutley. He's the doctor. Okay, I thought so. I mean, he was wearing an outfit. Is he? What is that? Like a garrote, a bone, a saw? What on earth? That spiked saw thing. That's horrifying. That is grotesque. Let's go downstairs. Wow, there's a lot here. We could listen to newly arrived scouting crew talking. Ah, Quilsley! Have any trouble setting in? Not too bad. I can't wait for a chance to sleep, though. A proper navigator never rests until their work is done. Of course, of course. I take it you had no issue settling in? Not at all. The crew are a funny lot. Old Kurt certainly caught their attention. Har, do you think any of them would mistake Kurt and myself? I think you'd collapse from joy if they did. Har, perhaps. Yorick and Hadrian? Yorick and Hadrian. Okay, that's hilarious. He's an islander. Islander. So they're like locals? Interesting. The pumps, the pantry. Ooh. Approach the cook. Let's talk to this oldie. Suspicious looking sailor emerged from the pantry. The hooded sailor spots you, keeping their hands firmly in their pockets. Not what it looks like, Officer Shaw. Pleck, but call me Gnomes. I'm not thieving anything. Hadn't considered that, but now... You think I protest too much then? No worries, I was just setting up a practical joke. That's not necessarily better. Not going to spoil the surprise. It's not at your expense if that's your concern. I have to get some enjoyment around here, don't you think? With their mysterious traps set, Gnomes scurries off to the upper decks to return to work. Skylar Pleck. Let's talk to the cook. Ah, you must be Shaw. Seems you've met my brother already. Yoren Stoke. Yoren. But nobody calls me that. In this ship, I'm known as Junior. You seem more personable than your brother. Aye, you definitely met Grimly. He's not the bad sort, my brother. Just to the point. He decides if he likes you real quick. Hey, Shaw, can you grab some tins from the pantry? It's nearly time for dinner. I'm aware that there's a trap in the pantry. Best make use of this kitchen while we can. Feed the hoosh pot. Okay, I don't have any resource cards. Increasing the food or changing the status. So I can add 1 to 10 food, but I don't have any. Call the crew for dinner. Let's look at the pumps. Nothing here. The moment you enter the pantry, a bag of flour drops on your head, scattering all over your officer's uniform. The hell was that? Gnomes! You wipe the flour off. 1 crate of 10 food. Crew need fed for the week. Okay, so this increases it'll add fuel and food. So that's how I'm gonna make up for the I'm gonna have to keep getting stuff out of storage. Seems weird. Nice beans though. I'll need to send a scout to the crow's nest with Kurt. Okay, so I could do that first. Makes sense. Let's talk to the navigator.
Your eyes notice a figure darting by, climbing on the ropes with ease. Ah, it's the third scout. Ah, no problems. And you're? Officer Shaw? Flick, I'm one of Kurt's crew. Don't worry about my safety. I know what I'm doing. Trust me. Kurt doesn't just hire anyone. Well, he didn't hire me for no reason. Got the medals in gymnastics if you're worried about my credentials. Medaling in gymnastics. Wow, this crew really is. Some of them are just like weirdly, I don't know what the word for it is. Like weirdly, celebrity status. Okay. Send me up there. I'll get you a reading. I believe the navigator means you to send one of his scouts. Of course. If you find one of mine, they'll get us a reading rightly. Okay, so I need to scout. Okay, some assign a certain type of person. This choice unit only assigns scouts. They're all ice hand savvy. Let's assign Flick. All clear from up top. Ah, we've got a map. Interesting. This is Orca Island, the last port you made. Picked up Kurt and the scouting team. Viscount Island. All right. So this is pack ice. So she's able to see from up here, and he's trying to say we should go around rather than through. It looks like we've already gone through a bit. Yeah, I think that's probably a good plan to try to go around. Okay, so we've taken a reading. So dinner means we're advancing the time, maybe? Darling. Should we toast the ice? Aye. The days get longer, but dinner is fixed. It'll see us through the long days and the darkest nights. Yeah, so it progresses the time of day. Still bright light outside. Oh, let's listen to some. Two sailors passing by. An inebriated sailor on wobbling legs. Ah, good times, good times. Need to learn to handle your drink, Tucker. Ah, but I'm fine. My mates can carry me, Cavity? They can also drop you. Have two Johns carry you next time. Are you asleep? Shit. Okay, let's see. Ooh, there's a door, a mysterious door. No response. Interesting. Do more listening. Engineers! You overhear one engineer speaking with another. Don't know how the chief could stay down there all evening. You ever seen Mr. Hammond eat? I haven't. Maybe he doesn't even eat. Man's not human if he can work all day and night on that boiler. Probably doesn't sleep either. He probably sleeps. Aye, Dick, it's figurative. Right. Ricky Vlogs. Okay, nice. So I can see the map anytime I want now. Great. Okay, forecastle. Ah, the dogs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Am I miscounting? Did I miss one? Maybe she's going to tell me she's missing one. Try some. Try the soup. You nearly burn your mouth on the hot broth. Surprisingly palatable. You feel yourself warming up. You seem to enjoy it. I'm afraid there's only so much. If you want more, it'll be among the dog's leftovers. Penguin. Some blubber. Fats and proteins. Fastest way to hydrate them. That's fair. Blubber and penguin meat. Fish would probably be better. Where do they come from? It's hard to tell the exact breeds at this point. They belong here more than we do. And unlike us, they need the ice. It cools them through their paws as they run. They'd overheat otherwise. Strong creatures. Very. They handle stress differently, adapt quickly. There's plenty to be learned from them. You've been on the ice for a long time. A long time, yes. And who's that beside you? This is Stanbury. You love these animals. They need me, and you'll need them. Let's pet Stanbury, little guy. Tries to lick the broth from my fingers. Oh, he licks my hand. All right. Captain's turned in for the evening. I think there's nothing to be done. Sounds of rustling inside. All right, let's progress. It's -4. Not too bad. All right. Oh, we can't afford to do a normal fuel. That doesn't make sense. This is really bad. Like, are we going to run out of food? Wait, surely they're not expecting me to go on half rations right away, right? -10 decorum. Tempers has fully entered the thick ice leads. The days grow ever brighter. Better find a way to refuel our stocks. This is pretty crazy. -8 in the morning. No items. So what does this mean? Oops. Oh, oh. Pet a dog. Pet a dog. Pet the dog. Barking at it. Okay. Let's look at the map. Okay, so we did not take the guy's advice, and we've just been going straight through. It didn't give me a chance to change what we were doing, so... Where? Let's do our requests. Appears to be absent. His chair is unoccupied. Let's wait for Captain Hunt. The whole room shudders. Examine the problem. What in the... Well, I was worried about this. Look at that ice. We could be trapped for a while. Strong pressures, as if we didn't have enough bother. Well, no need mucking around. Let's get to work. Where's Hunt? I'll grab him. I'm sure he felt it too. Shaw, check the boiler room. I'm sure the mole man has problems of his own. Not to worry, everyone. We'll be free and moving again before you know it. Back to work. Interesting. Kasha is here. Officer Shaw, what happened? Ship's come to a stop. I almost flung my camera into the wall. We didn't hit anything, did we? We're trapped in some ice. Need to break loose before we're moving again. Well, let's hope we can do that sooner rather than later. Trapped in the ice, though, that would make for a good photograph. Yeah, she really ought to go out and take a picture. Like, get out on the ice and take a picture of the ship. I mean, if it's strong enough for it that we can't break through it, then it's probably strong enough to stand on, right? Down to the lower deck. I see. Coal bunker. Check out the coal bunker. Grab some coal. Okay, great. Phew. Briquettes. Dr. Grimley. Ship stuck then. If you're looking for Hunt, you just missed him. No, just missed him. How? We didn't cross paths. Don't ask me. I'm going to check with my brother. I just missed him. The boiler room. Approach the two men. Aye, if I had made any errors, I'd tell you. It's secured, don't you worry. I'm sure you're aware of the situation. What's happening? I'm ensuring that the boiler was not damaged in the sudden commotion. And I told you that if it was, you'd already know. I'm not in the business of making mistakes. I know that if the furnace goes, we go down with it. Yes, but you're only one man, with just a pair of engineers as assistants. Just looking at the number of valves, this seems far too much for you to handle. Oh man, classic. He thinks he knows and is able to do something about it. Oh, that's crazy. Maybe your bloody benefactor should have considered that. I've gotten used to it by now. It will hold, trust me. I will. Well, I will have to, won't I? I don't fancy staying on this ship any longer than necessary. It's imperative we break free from the ice as quick as possible. The first mate's here, but where's the one who got us into this bloody mess? I was hoping that Templeton knew. I was informed by one of the Stokes that I had just missed him. Okay, that's suspicious. The Stokes say they saw him, but that there's no one around for me to see it. I have a suspicion to where he may be now. We're on a ship, an unmoving one at that. The man cannot simply disappear. If he's anywhere, he must be in his cabin. When you find the man, give him an earful on my behalf. Can't do it myself, too busy keeping us alive. I believe you and I both owe our captain a good visit, Shaw, a good captain. But you should call the crew for dinner first. Routine is important, especially now. Not before we've fed this furnace. Mind grabbing some coal from the bunker, Shaw, or are you afraid of dirty hands like Mr. Templeton over here? You're just going to keep standing there or give us something to burn? Cures crew of freezing. Heat the furnace. Only plus 20. That's not enough. We're going to be cold again tomorrow. That's messed up. You emerge mid-decks to find the crew readying themselves for dinner despite the ice. Some seem nervous, others as if nothing has changed at all. Ah, great. Tin food. Oh man, we're gonna be on half rations even with that. There's something really weird about this. Like, why we don't have more rations? Dinner time. Now it's evening. Still bright light outside. You didn't see him either? He didn't pass by, but his cabin door was locked when I checked. Slippery bastard. What are you thinking, Hunt? Okay, so Grimley saw him, but Junior didn't. So maybe Grimley is the one to be suspicious of. Dr. Kasha. No sign of Hunt, I take it? Mr. Templeton passed by, but he wasn't exactly willing to take questions. Ah, there's people out on the ice now. She should really go get a picture. Oh, let's talk to Kurt. Keep it up, lads. We'll set ourselves right in no time. Ah, Shaw! I just saw Templeton entering the captain's cabin. Seems Hunt's holed himself up inside. Maybe if you had a word with our good captain, he'd be willing to lend a hand. I was informed that he was here. Where could he have hidden himself? Check under his desk. I highly doubt he's cowering beneath the table, Shaw. Harr! Ah, I was right. He is in here. The captain's laugh rings out from behind the door. Captain watches you both, his head swaying as he chuckles to himself. You're a surprisingly difficult man to get a hold of, Hunt. Seeing that this is your ship.
Ah, I know it well. I believe you two are already acquainted?
How long have you been drinking?
I don't suppose you care to join?
I'll partake of it. Shakes his hip flask. Whiskey.
And what of you, Shaw? I can't tempt you with some sweet nectar? Ah, come on, I drink.
Let's see. This guy's got a drink. He's a sailor. He was in the military, in the Admiralty. Ugh, he's from all over the place.
What shall we toast to?
Adventure. Whatever that may lead.
I'll drink to that.
Don't humor this, Shaw. Spreading to your fingertips. You intend to offer drinks at a time like this? This ship, your ship, is trapped in the ice.
It's my ship now, isn't it? And what do you expect me to do? Get the shovels out?
What do you mean this isn't your ship?
Bought at an auction. Not by myself. Imagine that, captain of a private vessel, and I don't even own it. Pathetic.
Mr. Hunt?
Captain.
If you're not fit to stand, then you should retire for the night. Shaw will stand in your stead, and we can continue in the morning.
And abandon my duty? No captain who would do that is a fit captain, wouldn't you agree?
Well?
He's like, I didn't say it. Not you. Shaw, isn't that right? What do you think makes for a good leader?
Sobriety would make a start. Making the difficult choices, being able to do the job. Sobriety is definitely a good start towards leadership.
But I'm serious, Shaw. To you, what makes a good leader?
We don't have time for...
In a word, then, what makes a leader?
Understanding, control. So I think control... So this is an excellent question. It's an awesome question. I love it. Right? Like, what makes a good leader? There's so many different ways you can be a leader. You can be, the leader that other people follow. You can be the leader that directs people. You can be the leader that just keeps people together, focused, and lets them, accomplish their own, the facilitator. But someone who doesn't need to, run things, just makes things run smoothly. So both of these are possible. The thing I like about control, so the concept of control is, as a leader, you're making sure things are under control. That doesn't mean you are necessarily the one doing the controlling, just that you are you are making sure things are under control. Making sure people's tempers are under control, making sure personalities are under control, but you don't necessarily have to be in control just to make sure that things are in control. Now, I think that the game's probably going to interpret this as me being authoritarian, but we'll go with it.
Control? Explain.
Control over your surroundings, your crew, to place them on the correct source. They need a leader. You need to convince them you're worth following. Control over your emotions. To place them on the correct course, convince them that you're worth following. This is closer to the right thing. Make sure that things seem like they're in control. They need a leader. You need to convince them you're worth following.
And how do you do that exactly? There's only so far a puffed out chest and booming voice can get you. No person's life has ever been saved by a scarecrow. They can scarcely protect corn. Speaking in platitudes will do you no good. A good leader is something more than a single rule you were told to follow.
Yeah, but you told me to do it in a word. You just know. That's true. That's very true. When you see a good leader, you know. You've wasted enough time pining philosophical.
Oh, my apologies. I'll ask the real questions. Shaw, look at where we are. Do you honestly think we're going to survive this?
I had no assumptions on returning alive. I mean, no assumptions. Like everyone, I don't know. Does anyone go into something assuming that they are going to die? I can't imagine. Like, it's just sort of messed up. Do you think we're going to survive this? I had no assumptions on returning alive. If you're asking me on a meta level, do I think I'm gonna not lose this game? I don't even know if this game is like if you can survive. Probably you can. Let's be positive. I don't know. I'm not positive. I expected as much. Shaw! Nobody knows we're out here. That doesn't leave this room. Oh, this is a secret expedition. No, no, wouldn't want to upset your employer. Our benefactor. We all want to be paid after this, don't we? Enough. If you weren't fit to lead this expedition, you should not have agreed to it. You shouldn't be. None of us should be here. Old Kurt paid handsomely to join. You're just a botanist sent to keep an eye on me. Our doctor. Ah! And then there's me. What of you? Huh. The captain needs his rest. We'll discuss this once he's of sound mind. Let him speak, Templeton. I wish to know more. It's all right, Robin. Go on now, Shaw. I'll be all right here. He's not. He's not going to be all right. Captain Hunt needs his sleep. It would appear the pressures of command have greatly affected him. You should find some rest yourself. The crew have their commands. Clear your head and we will continue on the morn. One would think Hunt would be taking action at a time like this. Instead, the man has squirreled himself within his office. An odd one. All right, let's go. I don't know how we're gonna. We're all gonna have to go on low rations. You awake to a room awash with green. There is a loud banging on your door, and a familiar voice speaks from behind the wood. Shaw, are ye in there? What's going on? Why is everything green? Never mind the green. The boiler's in serious trouble. Pumps need manned, and we need to stop the whole system overheating. And I don't need to tell you if the furnace goes, we go. Where's Hunt? Is he aware? Can't find him. Came to you. I need someone's authority to take action now. Bloody give it to me. Okay, Ahmed, what's your plan? What do you think the plan is? We need to find the captain, now! That's not how... Whatever. Wow, green. This is cool. Talk to Kasha. Holding her camera tight. What's happening? Are we going under? Not if we can help it. Out of the way! It's safe to go up, all right? That Aurora, it's a shot I can't miss. Yeah, the Aurora is pretty cool. The lights of the Aurora flicker over the pale ice. Yeah, this is we're really stuck in there now. I have a feeling we're not going anywhere. But it's summer. The animals are barking furiously at the green. Come, Stanbury. What is happening to the ship? Nothing I cannot fix. Don't fret. Then I shan't stop you, Mr. Hammond. Have you seen the captain? I've been resigned to this room, and I'll have to stay as such, lest you wish to add a frightened kennel to your current problems. Nothing. Even the tub is empty. Why would you expect him to be in the tub? Not important. This doesn't make sense. The man seemed barely fit to crawl himself into bed earlier. What? All right, Shaw. Captain's missing. You're in charge. We can't give up on Hunt that easily. I bloody well can. He missed his chance to take the reins. Yes, indeed. The crew are in no doubt waking at this moment. Okay, now I'm super suspicious of Templeton. Did Templeton disappear him so that he couldn't tell me anything? Oh, man. I wish I had... I hope I didn't use the wrong answer option. They are no doubt scared, confused. It is your duty to keep them calm, to maintain order.
It's Shaw's job to get down to the boiler room, now! We've already wasted enough time looking for that bastard Hunt. If you storm down to that room, all you'll be doing is inciting a panic. We need to calm the fears of the crew, maintain an air of focus. Lie to them as the ship goes down? Not at all. Instead, to assure them that we know how to remedy this matter. You do know how to remedy this matter, Mr. Hammond. Aye. And we need to be quick. I don't have time to worry about some stupid sailor's feelings. We've got a bloody ship to save. Well, it is as you said. Officer Shaw is in charge. The decision is yours. We need to focus on calming the crew. The boiler won't waste for us. I think we do need to focus on calming the crew, but we have plenty of decorum left. I think we need to... Like, honestly, Hammond should have gone down to deal with the boiler while I looked for the captain. Fine. I'll keep the crew at bay then. Come on, don't worry about him. Let's go. It is the right choice, I think. As more of the crew notice you and Hammond descending below, the whispers begin. Soon, the crew pick up the pace, walking directionless with hurried footsteps. Boiler trouble, I take it? I'll lend a hand. Not when you're walking with that cane, you're not. I have enough strength to go tell the crew to hit the lower decks, as many as possible. Let's go, Shaw. Time to save this blasted ship. Ahead you can see the brothers trying to open the door to the hold. Trying to get in? Same. Door's stuck. Pull harder, ye bastards! We need to get in there. Can you help us? The metal door unsticks. Okay, so we cooperated. Grimly looks to you before darting off into the dark. Grimly? I'm suspicious of Grimly. Where's that bloody idiot running off to? To sound the alarm? Bloody hells. Let's get moving. You enter the boiler room. As you enter, Hammond's engineering team are hard at work. The larger of the two engineers loses grip of their valve as steam begins to shoot out, causing Hammond to dash forward. Watch it! Hammond tackles the engineer to the ground, saving him from a nasty steam burn. Made it just in time. What's the word, Chief? Keep those valves pumping. We need to avoid a water hammer, or we won't be making it off the ship. Shaw! The rest of the crew aren't here. Grab a valve and start turning. Let's grab a valve. Trying all you can to keep the water at bay. Pump! You feel the ache in your muscles as you continue to push the valve, keeping the pressure at bay. Yeah, I mean, we could have literally grabbed one person. As the leader, my rumbles and sputters hemorrhaging fuel. We could be at this for hours. Where's the rest of the crew? Ah, here they come in. Brought help. The furnace rumbles and sputters. Get me coal and turn those valves! A little sack of briquettes. Can assign to instantly gain that many items. Okay, so I can assign people to grab coal. Perfect. Okay, here we go. So I just have to assign people to get coal out of the furnace. That could be better. Need a person. Okay, so I assigned
Who did I assign? Someone. They grab the valve. I'll assign someone else. Tucker. That's the drunk. Drunk can pull a valve, I guess. With enough hands working on the boiler, begin to fight back the potential water hammer. Someone's gonna have to hold the furnace in place. Okay, I'm gonna assign someone good for that. Or should I assign an engineer? No. The room shakes. Water hammer! Oh. I injured a good person. Okay. They will become invalid and unable to work. You keep up the work, shifting the valves until the boiler has fully calmed. Ship is saved. You won't be sinking today. As the crew give assistance to the wounded Joom, you feel your muscles tense. You fall back, collapsing from exhaustion. As you lay back, all you can hear are a pair of panicked voices. Where the hell is Captain Hunt? He's gone. All right. That's the prologue. We don't have enough rations for more than half, so this is what we're going to have to do. It's 58. We should go half. I don't know what the next one's going to look like. There's not enough for us to do one full one and a half one next week. Let's do what we can, though. Temperance was saved from sinking. The Aurora passes, leaving only the bright light and white. All right, I think that's going to have to do us for now. We made it through the prologue. That's excellent. I'm very excited that we did that. Oh, let's see. They're alone in the captain's cabin. Out across deck can be heard the commotion of the crew. Word is spread quickly that Captain Hunt is missing. Templeton comes in. Shaw? Still no sign of Hunt? I'm afraid not. Hunt is still missing. Missing. And he isn't alone in that regard. Sanders, Sparrow, and Gren are also unaccounted for. Oh no. As is a sizable food and fuel supply and one of the larger lifeboats. Interesting. Shaw, you and I are not naive. It seems quite clear what has happened here. How's the rest of the crew? They are confused, scared. The former captain is no longer with us. You understand what that means, Shaw. Hunt is still the captain. I don't intend to usurp him. Hunt is absent. There's no use awaiting the word of ghosts. A new captain must be selected by the crew. As first mate, you have the most clear argument to take that role. I would have expected the role to be inherited. Not quite. They will hold a vote as soon as possible. That Carpenter, grimly. He is still loyal to Hunt, and many of the sailors will follow his vote, if not all. Though I can assure you, you have the votes of myself and my scientists. Kurt and his crew are like to support you as well. I am unsure where the engineers will side, and they're likely loyal to their pay. Joom is still recovering from the steam burns, which may end up working to our favor. And the civilians are a mystery. But I believe when all is said and done, you will just about make the vote. Clearly, you've given this a lot of thought. Of course, it's vital to remain aware of the crew's intention. They're waiting outside, Shaw. They're scared. They don't know where to turn. You and I both understand the importance of maintaining decorum. Though times seem dire, remember, there is a rescue ship on its way. Even if the Temperance fails, we still have a potential escape. 35 weeks. The ship will arrive at Viscount Island in 35 weeks from now. We should focus on surviving that long. That is all we need do, Captain. How can we be certain? I can assure it. Our benefactor will ensure it. Another 35 weeks, Captain. Keep it in mind. Here, you should have this. Fancy-looking hat. That tells us what we need, doesn't it? What about you? Do you wish to be captain? That is not my burden to bear. I choose to willfully observe reality. I suggest you do the same Captain. With it, Templeton. I think it's best we declare that the captain and the missing crew are dead. There's no need for us to complicate things any further. Won't lie to them, Templeton. Leaders lie. Get used to it. The crew are waiting for you on deck. All right. You will lose your progress for this week? That's fine. I can. Wait, what week am I in? Yeah, I mean, I'll start back over for the week. Hunt's ledger's gone. Still drops of frozen whiskey. Address the crew. Nah, I gotta go. All right. We'll catch back up. We're done. Thanks for joining us for Humble Bundle Tryouts. This was the Pale Beyond. We'll probably continue on it next time. Have a good day.